Hello and welcome to the Paper Papillion. My name is Antoinette Bay and I am about to create a card for you using the Ornate Garden Designer Series paper and some very fall looking colors of Mango Melody, Early Espresso, and some blends and a marker. And this is the paper that we're using right here. We're using this pattern. Excuse me. And we'll get started. So Four Season Floral is a stamp set that is in the beginner catalog. It is number 152801. It is on sale. I believe it's around $5.60. It was around $11 or something like that. So if you are interested in purchasing this beautiful stamp set, I've used this several times, and today we're using this flower. I'm also using Celebrate Sunflowers. I think I'm going to use just the words "Let's Celebrate You" today. And I'm also using the Scripty embossing folder. This is also retiring. I do not know the name of it. And we'll get started. Let's see, I have enough here for 3 cards. All the measurements and additional photos and project details and product list are listed on my blog, www.thepaperpapillion.com, and you can go there via the link that I will put in the description here. It should be in the description below. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take your 4 1/4 by 11 and score it in the middle, fold it over, and put that on the side for now. We're also going to take our, excuse me, Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, and I'll bring it over. And I do have to use my large one because we're putting through a folder and a die cut. So we're working with 1 card today. So I'll get the 1 piece that we need for 1 card, which is right here. We're also working with the rectangle stitch dies right here. And I'm using this piece right here. And we'll die cut that quickly. And I always put it on the side because it runs through the machine very smoothly when you put it sideways. A rectangular or square die runs through the trimmer much easier. The Stampin' Cut Emboss much easier when you put it on its side. Okay, so we have that stitch shape. So the next thing we want to do is change out the plates. And we're using a 3D embossing folder, and that would be the Scripty. And because it's 3D, we need the specialty plate, which is this purple plate. And we took all the other plates off except for this base. And we'll run that through, and then we'll be done with our Stampin' Cut embossing. Sorry if this is shaking the camera slightly. Okay, put this away. Excuse me. And we can now, there's the imprint. Okay, and that is done also. So we'll put this aside. Now from this, because I said we're doing it 3 times, I only need 1 piece of the Designer Series paper. I'll create the others later. 1 piece of crumb cake, 1 small strip of the Designer Series paper, 1 small strip of the Mossy Meadow, and we don't need that, we don't need this, and we need 1 basic white for the insert, and everything else can go to the side. We can also get stamping now. So we're going to take that daisy flower and we'll stamp it 3 times. In Early Espresso. And then we're going to clean it off. And we're going to stamp it again. Actually, we're not going to clean it off just yet because I do want to do the inside as well. And I want to do that on the right side. Oh, made a mistake. That did not print, that did not stamp well. Okay, that's much better. And the other thing we need is an envelope. Hold on. Always like to do the envelope too. So while we're at it with this color, the Early Espresso, we will do the envelope. Okay. Not perfect, but it's okay. We'll work with that. Now we're going to clean this off. Let's put all of these to the side and we'll work with those later. Now we're going to clean this off and use the Mango Melody. And I do want to make sure that it's completely clean. So I have a piece of scrap paper. Yep, it's completely clean. So now we're going to take Mango Melody and stamp just the daisy part. We don't need the whole thing, just the top portion. Actually, I want to keep my work surface clean, so I'm putting a piece of paper underneath there. And this one. And we might need a fourth, just in case. And we could put those to the side. Now I am taking out my Early Espresso once again, and I'm going to put these little dots. Now I'm using the writing side, but it's a little bit dry, so I'm dipping it into the ink pad. So there's a little bit more ink on there. Can you see that? And I'm doing it to all of them. And just one more. I'm not sure if we're using 4 or not, but just in case. I'm going to keep that open for a second. One of these is just going to get colored with the Soft Suede Light blend in the center. And then I'm going to put a few dots on there as well. So we're mimicking the Designer Series paper, actually, is what we're doing. And now what we'll do is take the dark Mango Melody, excuse me, and I'm going to use the tip. And on this one, the one that we just colored with the Soft Suede, is going to get, just the lines are going to get filled with Mango Melody Dark. And then we're going to take the dark So Saffron and pull out some color here. Okay, and I'm not going all the way to the top of the flower, I'm leaving a little bit of white space there. I will go over it again with the light So Saffron. So this is the dark So Saffron. I'm going to go over it again with the light and bring that tip up closer to the top of the flower. Now there's not a whole big difference that you'll see, but it does do a little something. And that's that. So then the next one, we're going to take the dark So Saffron And again, on the lines that are already marked from the stamp, we're just going over that in dark So Saffron. And then we'll take the light So Saffron, and this time I'm using the brush side. It doesn't really matter which side you use, whatever you're comfortable with. In this case, I'm comfortable with the brush. And now that's pulled out, and I do want to go over these lines again with the dark So Saffron. Okay. And then this one's going to remain white. And here we're going to take the light Mossy Meadow and color the leaves, the lines on the leaves in the light Mossy Meadow. And then I'm also going to take the light Old Olive and fill in the stem and the leaves. Actually, I should be using the brush side. You could use either, but it doesn't matter. Actually, the bullet side might have been better. I think I might want to add a little bit of dark Old Olive in here as well. So let's see, is this the dark Old Olive? Mossy Meadow. I think this is the dark Old Olive, yes. Let's see, let's add a little bit of dark. Might be a little too close to the color of the light Mossy Meadow. And we can go, I think I like the dark better. The dark Old Olive. And this does not have to be perfect at all, as you can see. This is not perfect coloring at all. Okay, so you'll want to do the same with your envelope. And I'm taking dark Mossy Meadow for the center. And for the envelope, I'm going to fold this scrap in half. I don't want it to bleed through to the other side of the envelope, so I'm just taking a piece of scrap and inserting it inside the envelope. Just FYI, if you don't want, because these can bleed. Now I'm going to take the dark Old Olive and color that in. And now this is what I'm doing here, is the inside of the inside and the envelope. Okay. Okay. On this, I'm going to do mango, dark mango. I'm going to use the bullet because my brush is drying out. I've been using it a lot lately. I don't remember the last project I used it on, but I used it quite a bit. And then the dark So Saffron. And then the light So Saffron. To fill it out. And then we'll take the soft suede, and again, we'll take that pointy side, the writing side, add some ink to it, and add some little dots to the center. And there's the envelope. And I think we'll keep this one white. Okay, there we have it. Now, what you'll need to do is cut out just these little circles, the little stamens on the inside, and then cut out 1, 2, 3 flowers and just these little circles. That's what you would need to do. But I've already done that. Now I could have done it on live, on right here, but rather than, and then just fast forwarded the video, but I chose to actually cut them ahead of time. Okay, so let me show you what we did though. So if you cut out these pieces here, you wind up with this, okay? And I opened up my early espresso and just kind of went around the edges. I didn't want that stark whiteness. I went around the edges and took away the stark whiteness around the edges. Okay, so one of them is going to go here on the insert, and the other one I'm just going to put on one of these flowers. I'm going to have to cut another one here and put it on the other flower. So what I did was just take some liquid glue. Okay, that was a little bit too much glue, so I'm going to take some up off of there and use it for the inside flower right here. Okay, and then this one will go here. And then later I'll cut these out and put one on here, and I have some more for the other cards. So I have 2 more cards to do, so I'll be cutting these out later. All right, so there you have it. There's that center we cut out, and that's for the insert. There's the envelope, which is fine. We'll put that on the side, and I'm putting this on the side until we're ready. So now we can bring out, oh, I forgot a piece. We need this old olive mossy meadow piece. And I'm measuring that. I'm going to walk away and measure it to 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I will be right back. Okay, so since I forgot to do that ahead of time, I'll just do it right here. Here's my trimmer. And we shall cut that to 5 1/2. One, let's see, this 5 1/4, 5 1/2. By 2 1/4. Okay. So now what we can do is take the crumb cake, which is 5 1/2 by 1, and we're going to tear it. And one of these is for the inside of the card, and one whole piece is for the outside of the card. And that's going to go behind here with some adhesive. I'm going to take my silicone mat so I don't get it on my work surface, and just go straight across, and that will go here. And then I'm going to kind of crinkle this up toward me. Just to give it a little bit of a distressed feel. Okay, and then we're going to put this on the card, on the Designer Series paper. Probably don't need that much adhesive, but I just did. Okay, and you only want about maybe 1/2 inch to a quarter, maybe a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch from the left. Okay. Next thing is some twine, linen thread, I should say. And we're going to wrap that around twice. So I don't like to waste twine, so I'm cutting it down to the same size and then cut it again. So that's the size I want. Instead of wrapping it around twice and having what's on the back wasted, I don't like to do that. So now I'm going to put adhesive back here. And we'll wrap one. And then the other. And then I'm going to take some tear and tape and hold that down. And then we'll pull up that tear and tape. I like to use my tweezers for that. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes not so easy. Most times easy though. And then we'll add some more adhesive. And add that to the base of the card. So I like to make sure that my fingers are up here so that it is not going past. We look pretty even on both sides, I believe. Yep. And now there we have it. Actually, I am hanging over slightly here, and that does bother me. And I did this on my Facebook Live as well. So I'm just pulling up the thread, and I'm just going to take my little trimmer here, and before I really stick it down, I'm going to trim that little bit off of the bottom. And now I have no overhang. I'll take this back and I will adhere it back in to the card right there. I'll need a little bit more tear and tape. So yeah, just be sure that you have no overhang on the bottom or the top. If you're a little bit OCD about it like I am. Okay. Oh, too far over. Move that over a bit. Okay. Not perfect, but okay. I can still work with that. There we go. Okay. Now we'll take some thread again and tie a bow here. Neaten that up later. Now we can take our strip, our piece that was embossed, and here I'm using liquid glue because it's embossed and it's recessed a bit. And when you use adhesive on something that's embossed like this, it can tend to pull the paper. So if I have an embossed piece like this, I generally use liquid glue. And then that goes down right there. Okay. Let me put this away so I don't lose it when I'm looking for it later. Okay, there's that. And now we can start placing the flowers. And I think I want to have this one on the top like my original. I'm just going to put a glue dot, dimensional behind each flower. And I'm going to take the one that's Mango Melody and start that up at the top. And then this one will go to the left and this one to the right. I actually am going to tear off this leaf right here. Put that down here. And now what I'm going to do is I like to take these, this is my scissor that I use for little gluey things. So I'm just cutting a little bit of dimensionals from the edges to make it nice and thin, so I can add it to this part here that is hanging and give that a little dimension. You'll have to decide where you want to put yours. And then I also want to put a dimension possibly on this leaf right here. Little dimension there as well. Okay, so I just cut it nice and thin and it fits perfectly right there, if I can get it to stick. Okay, there we have it. So we're going to work on the inside of the card before we do anything else to the front. So for the inside of the card, we're going to take this piece of old Mossy Meadow, keep calling it Old Olive, and lay that down at the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to take this piece, this strip of Designer Series paper, add adhesive, and set that down. Okay, and then we'll just trim it down. Whoops. Okay, and do the same type of thing, just kind of bring it toward you a bit. Then add some adhesive here. And have about 1/4 of an inch showing of the Mossy Meadow, maybe a little less. And sure, I have no overhang here, which I don't. And then I'm going to take some more linen thread. There's lots of little pieces. As you can see, I get rid of nothing. Take some more linen thread. And I'll do 2 pieces here as well. So 1 and 2. And I'll put some adhesive on the back about where it's going to lay. I'm going to get these scissors out of here. Okay. About there. Okay. Maybe bring it down just a little bit. Okay. All right. And then again with tear and tape or Scotch tape. I just happen to have tear and tape in front of me, no Scotch tape in front of me. Okay. Whoop, that's not very good. Okay. And then pull that up. This is being stubborn today. And then add some more seal or your adhesive of choice. And then that will go on the inside. And add some more twine, linen thread for the bow on the inside. And in this case, I'm going to put it right below the flower. And I'm going to make it small. Okay. And there's that for the inside. And here's the outside. Now let's get some more. Oh, put that away too soon. But I can use one of these small pieces, I think, for this now. I think I can just tie a bow with one of these small pieces. Actually, I do need a bigger piece. My fingers are not as tiny as I thought. Okay, and we'll cut that. And that will be our bow that will sit on the front, on the flowers, I should say. But first, we need to do our sentiment. Now, for my original, I did thanks a bunch, but I'm not going to use that in this case. I'm going to use celebrate. Let's celebrate you, but I don't want to use the let's. So, since I don't want to use let's, I only want to use celebrate you, which is fine. I can stamp the whole thing on black cardstock. Hold on. Okay, and I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Let's get that going, which is right here. Embossing Buddy, we used to sell it, Stampin' Up. We don't anymore, but you can get that at any craft store, I believe. And we'll get some Versamark and white embossing powder. Sorry for my arm. Okay. And we'll do Celebrate You. White embossing powder. Now it's going to get loud for a moment, a couple seconds while I'm heat embossing. Oh, thank God my finger got in the let's, because we're going to cut that off anyway. Okay, so that'll dry for a second. Now we're just going to cut that out, and you could fast forward this if you'd like. I'm just going to put my glasses on and cut, just kind of cut all around. There's no fancy way to do this. Just cutting all around, curving around the curves. Okay, and around here. Okay. And all we need to do here is put that on here with some dimensionals and some liquid glue. So right about here where it's going to sit on top of the stem that already has some dimension on it. So that part is going to stick right on there. We're going to grab some, I think I'm going to grab some black. Let's see. Yeah, some black mini dimensionals. Kind of place them all over. And this one's going to go here and one more. And I'm using black because I'm using black cardstock so that if it's just a neater, cleaner, if someone looks this way at a card and they see it doesn't really matter. You could use anything you'd like. Maybe I'll move that over just a hair. And I just need to push that in. And then we're going to get a dot of liquid glue. I'm going to put it right here. And that's where I'm placing my linen thread here. I'm going to hold my finger down for a second. And then we'll get some gems. And in this case, I am using gold gilded gems. And I'll use a large one down here, a medium one up here, and a smaller one around here. And like that. And that completes our card and envelope. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, the little red button, and there's a bell next to it. Once you hit subscribe, the red subscribe button, there's a bell next to it, and you'll get notified every time I post a video. You could find all this information on my blog, and the link is posted below. You'll find product lists, measurements, and additional photos. So thanks for watching today. I hope you liked that. Bye.